Hey guys, what's up? OnePunchnDone here. I'm sorry I did not get this podcast out on Friday a couple days ago. That was the intention. Didn't do it. Sorry. Please enjoy the video anyway. It is a podcast with me and my buddy Kevin was filling in for Coach. Hope you enjoy it still and look for the next podcast, episode 5, coming this Friday. Hopefully. I'm trying to keep my word here. Love you. Hey guys, what's going on? OnePunchnDone here. Hope everyone's having a good day. I have with me the one, the only. Hey, what's your name again, man? I'm just kidding. It's KyberCollector. No. I'm here with Kevin, my buddy over from the. I don't know if you guys are some of you. I know some of you found me from the Discord that we're all in. KyberCollector is his alias online. I will leave for sure some on-screen graphics, kind of showing you a little bit of his profile. But the Discord is a Long Island local Discord that Kevo over here started, and that's kind of how I met him. He basically, well, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, my name is Kevin. I go by KyberCollector on Discord. I gave myself that name collecting 1980s Star Wars toys on eBay years ago.
Interesting.
So it's not the best name out there, but it's the one I got. And I love Star Wars card games. Matt and I met at Gotham City Games pretty early on after the game started, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a busy life as a dad and a husband. My wife and I have 3 kids, 13, 10, and 6. They keep us busy. So I'm not out at locals as much as I would like to be. But I just got in some games on TTS with Matt just now. So I play when I can, and I try to keep up somewhat with what's going on with the game. And before this one, I'm like a one-trick pony. I just like Star Wars FFG games. I played Destiny before this one, and before that I played the LGS game, the Star Wars the card game, which was a pretty cool game too. And so yeah, enjoying it. Like seeing the new cards come out, and glad to be on the podcast, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, no problem. Yeah, guys, Coach ended up, I don't want his personal details, but he couldn't make it tonight. And last minute, I kind of reached out to Kevin. It said, hey, man, would you mind doing me a favor? I would really appreciate it if you could just do it. I want to get this podcast done. We do it on Wednesdays. Right now it's Wednesday night. This will go up Friday morning. And Kevin, being the kind of guy he is, not sure what he had going on, but I know Kevin's always busy, but he made the time to me. So appreciate that. I'm sure whoever's listening to this on maybe their way to work or listening to it. I know some guys listen to my podcast while they actually are working, whatever it is that they're doing. So I'm sure they're very appreciative. So thank you as well. As am I. I'm very appreciative of everybody. So thank you so much. Yeah. We met at a local game store. I love that you actually were talking about the Star Wars card game that you played. You said the LGS, but you meant the LCG. But I smiled because LGS is what we call the local game store.
I said I wasn't going to whiff, but I did.
Oh, no, who cares, bro?
I'm sorry.
No one cares, man. It just adds to your charm, Kevin. It doesn't matter. It's all cement. It's all stupid. It's nonsense.
That's right.
The LCG. It's okay. It's okay, man. I'm just breaking chops. But yeah, the LCG was the Star Wars game that is the first Star Wars game I was actually interested in, because I think before Destiny that came out first, right? Came out before Destiny.
Yep, as it did.
And it looked kind of cool. I mean, I know Fantasy Flight did that as well, and it looked good. I don't know. I think I watched what's it called? I watched board game reviews. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Dice Tower, but Dice Tower did a board game review on the Star Wars card game, the living card game, and it just looked fun. And it just looked like stupid fun. And I liked that it wasn't collectible. So like, I guess you got all the cards. But maybe you can. We won't. This isn't a LCG podcast, but
people either know it or they don't. Yeah, but it was a good game though, definitely.
I'm glad you liked it.
Very different than this one, and I still have it. I still have all those cards.
Yeah, I like that you
Yeah.
keep your stuff too. You don't just get rid of them. I do that too. So
I
Destiny.
probably would get rid of it if I had, could make the time to get organized and sell stuff. But that doesn't happen either.
Fair enough. Now you're a busy man. You got a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old. You still find the time to play the game and do the things that you like to do. So much respect to you, Kev.
Thanks, man.
Destiny, the LCG, SWU. Which one? And not just because SWU is the current one, but which one do you think you have you truly think has the best gameplay?
No, SWU games are much quicker than the other two.
They're much, you said,
Or at
smoother?
least quicker. They're quicker games. That's the first comparative thought that comes to mind.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
The
first one may have kind of been the coolest. I liked Destiny a lot,
so Destiny you like the most.
I guess I would have to go with Destiny.
Yeah, that's fair. I never got into Destiny, but the dice gimmick, I always liked the chunky dice that it offered, and I watched a lot of gameplay of Destiny, although I had no idea what was going on, what any of the cards did, or even what was really happening. To be honest, I like sort of followed it, but I couldn't really tell you who had better board presence or whatever.
Right.
At a glance, anyway, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Was it like a 2v2 in Destiny where like you had 2 leaders versus 2 leaders, and like you were the optimal move was to like focus on killing one first and then going for the other, I guess?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. They were different power levels. So when you one of the early popular decks was like, I think they called it Vader Raider, because Vader was a big unit, but he played with a Tusken Raider. It's kind of like with the new game where you pick a color leader and then a color base, and then you pick cards from that. In Destiny, you pick different colored characters, and whatever characters you put in the deck as your front, it would be either two. It was like 2 or 3 guys at most generally. And whatever color they were, that's the color cards you put in your deck. And there was no out of aspect cards. You could play it or you couldn't.
Ooh.
And they each had health totals, and so you had to kill everybody on the opposing team. And when you did, that's when you won.
Okay. It always looked interesting to me. I just liked the like I said, the chunky dice aspect. They were colorful. I just liked the shape. They looked like they were fun to kind of shake up in your hand and just throw them down. And
who doesn't like dice? Yeah.
Who doesn't like dice, man?
It's probably only a matter of time until we play that one, but we'll see.
Definitely gonna try to. Yeah, me and Kevin have spoken on many occasions to possibly meet up in person, or Kevin, like he said, still has this collection of Star Wars memorabilia and games and whatnot. So yeah, maybe one day we'll run by Gotham and you could show me how to play. That'd be fun.
Dust off the dice, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dust off the old D6s. So Star Wars games specifically, that's been your shtick. Like you haven't played Lord of the Rings or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, nothing like that.
No, I played a little bit of Magic in college, and I enjoyed it, but then I got away from cards in general for a long time. And I mean, honestly, it was like way back. I was looking for a hobby to pursue as a young married guy, and I was like, well, my wife definitely doesn't want me sitting in front of a video game screen for hours. And in respect to her, I submitted to that. I was like, I'm not going to get into video games. So I started looking at card games, and I really like Star Wars, and I just found them and got into them.
That's fair.
Ever since.
I love it. I always ask people, what is it about? Yeah, no, I know. What is it about card games specifically that draws you to them? Well, I should say Star Wars is the IP obviously that you like the most, but what is it you think about card games in general, or
Yep, it's a little hard to express, but there's just something that when you play you play it. Well, it's fun to watch for the interactions. That's one thing. You
Mhm.
know, it's the way that it makes your mind work is just fun when things are going like okay, when you're not just getting smashed by someone. You know, that's never fun. But
Mhm.
looking for card interactions and synergies, and not combos per se, but oh, I can do this, or if I love how you would think that when they make these games, there'd be so many repetitive scenarios and you've seen it all. But I know I don't play as much as these competitive players and other guys out there for sure. But I still find personally that things still come up, and you're like, oh, I never noticed that when I play this card with that one that this could happen. I don't
Mm.
know if you experienced that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you really have to watch. You have to watch. Even if you've been playing for a while, you still kind of have to read the cards. So it's stimulating and fun. I like it.
Yeah, I think I like you. We were just playing on Tabletop Simulator, and I played the Inspiring Mentor card, and you kind of didn't know how the interaction worked 100% yet because, well, the set is still new. Like you said, you don't really get a lot of opportunities to play when you
Right.
you can only do when you're free. But it was still like I realized you had a lot of joy in realizing, oh, it's when you attack and when it's defeated. This thing's just handing out experience, and it was kind of like a cool little interaction for you that you saw. I got to kind of boost up my Captain Rex a little bit, which was kind of fun. Yeah, I agree with you a lot, Kev. I have kind of the same mentality there. I like the interactions with cards. I don't really know what it is though. Like I tell people I don't know why. I've always been with me. It goes a little deeper where I don't care what kind of card game it is. I'm just interested in. I want to learn how to play it. I just want to watch gameplay on it. I don't care what it is, even if it's IP. I have no I don't care for.
Hmm.
I just want to know how to play it. I just like game mechanics, I guess. I enjoy that, and I don't
Yep.
know how to
Yeah. Game
explain it.
mechanics. Yep.
Yeah, and that's why I watch the Dice Tower reviews. By the way, is because there's like game mechanics in those that they're explaining how to play the game, and I just like how the gears turn. You know what I mean? I like when a game is well designed and it's smooth or whatever. But myself, I'm not really into these games for the high octane competitive level. I don't have the brain function for that one. And the other thing too is I also don't have the stress levels would be way too high. I think we were laughing the other day. If we go to locals and our hands are kind of shaking sometimes because we're just like there's
That's
just
right.
something about playing other people and not wanting to make the wrong move, and there's nothing on the line though, so what do we care?
Yeah.
It's
Why
just
is my hand shaking?
right. Yeah, that's good.
What a weenie.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I guess I really kind of wanted to get into the whole Boba banning because I know we at least
Yep.
both played set one, but
Hmm.
now that I'm coming
Yep.
back for set three, and I noticed we've both been trying to get ourselves back out there and play a little bit more. Boba's been banned. Like what does that mean? What do we, what's gonna happen here? What is that? What exactly does that mean? Do you like it? Do you dislike the change? Is that gonna be good for the game, bad for the game? What do you think?
Yep. And I know that. I mean, it's in a way it doesn't matter because it's done, and there's nothing anyone can do about it now. Everybody's said what they had to say about it. But I personally though think that it's 100% a good move. I think for one main reason, um, because I like it when the more diversity of decks that I see out there, whether it's at tournaments or locals, either or, um, the happier I am. You know, and so it just helps in that regard. Now, granted, at locals, you're not going to see nearly as many bobas as at the tournaments because um, because people aren't as they're not trying as hard to win. They're playing what they like as while trying to make a good deck.
Hmm.
They're not trying to get every advantage, which is at tournaments the really the 2Ks or 5K whatever.
Mm.
Um, People there, they're going to play what they want to play, but they're serious. They want every edge they can get, and if one deck is the best deck and they think that's true, then they're probably going to play it. Unless they think they have an answer to it. So Yeah, so I guess it is more. It affects tournaments more, but just in general, I'm good with it. Because yeah, I just like diversity in the meta, and I um, Fantasy Flight said it plainly that they weren't seeing the kind of diversity at tournaments that they wanted to see. It was too Boba heavy. You know, Django replacing it. That's like kind of like wah wah wah. It's like maybe not what everybody was hoping for, but it is a different deck though. I mean, it's exhausting instead of making money. You know, so at least it's a different mechanic.
Making
That
money.
even though he's still the same, you're still fighting someone in the same family as Boba. At least he's using a different approach.
I agree with you. I agree with you a lot, buddy. There, definitely want to see the diversity, and I think Boba was almost more than half represented at every type of event, and it's just not good for the game. It's not a good look. But you can't blame them. I mean, you're going there like you're not really, some
No, the
these,
players absolutely not.
there's a prize pool involved, right? There's money involved at stake, so I get why people would want to. The only thing that I kind of always like, and look, this isn't a knock on anybody, but I'm allowed to have an opinion too. It's just when you bring it to like locals, when everyone's just trying to have a good time, and your deck is like crazy meta, you got all the best cards in there, and there's like 3 packs at stake. Like if you win a game, you get a pack or whatever. Calm down. Like I don't mind if you want to be the best or whatever, but like everyone else is there who's trying to enjoy themselves too, and I feel like playing the most meta decks it takes away a little bit of the joy when you get steamrolled by like a deck that's super super unless that's the theme of the night, like everyone's bringing their best made decks. But at least at that point players can expect to walk into, they can prepare. I'm going to play a Jango Fett, I'm going to play a Anakin, um which by the way I don't think they were as big a problem as Boba. But and I'm again not knocking anybody. For some people that is the fun. They like the deck that's so over the top powerful because it gives them a sense of accomplishment, and that's cool. But it's just something that I've never been fancy about. That's why I play Cassian. Like, who the hell does that?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I get
The players you
steamrolled
wanna
almost
play.
all the time. Yeah, I get steamrolled every time I play this guy. But and I will say it's not fun when you lose a cat. Even if you like you know that your deck is actually outclassed, it still sucks to lose. It just does. Um,
Yep. Totally.
you know what I like
It
about
gets old.
it gets old quick. I always make the joke. I mean it probably gets pretty old quick, but I always make the joke. This game's a lot more fun when I'm winning. But I
Yep.
mean, and I mean that. I think that's how we all.
There's not a single person who can't relate to that. If you ask me.
um yeah, I make those little backhanded comments a lot of the time when someone plays, it's just another overwhelming barrage where it's the best card in the game. It's just one of the best cards in the game. I so much so that I named my podcast after it. It is such a
One that is seeing a little bit less play right now. If I'm not mistaken. I
it
think that's interesting.
yeah.
It's still
Oh,
you
it's
you, you want to like build a deck just to play that card,
right, exactly. I mean, if you're playing green black, it's in there. It's in there.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's just an automatic of, and it's so devastating because it buffs a guy and it wipes boards, and it changes the tide of the battle so fast. And that sucks. So when I'm like, I'm sitting there and 5 resources out for my opponent, I'm starting to like put my board out, but I only had like 5 or 6 health worth of units out there, and they OB me, and they got a 4 power unit that becomes a 6, and then they spread 6 damage out, kill all my guys, and I'm like, great, so I have no board, and you're coming at me for 6 damage. That's awesome. That was fun. I say that it's backhanded, and I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but I'm like, oh, that's as I'm putting my cards in the discard pile. This is real fun. I say it with like a slight smirk because I know it's just part of the game. I'm just being a sore loser, pussy puss on purpose. It's all in good fun, I don't mean it in a way to insult anybody. But yeah, Boba being banned, I think is a good thing. I think it's a really good thing for the diversity of the game, and I think Uh, it was just an overpowered guy, overpowered leader.
Yeah.
Didn't need him. Didn't need
Yeah.
him. Some people are thinking, maybe you can recreate him to what's that word called? Yeah, someone's listening right now going, it's this. Whatever. When you take the original thing and you
Like repackage it or something like that.
yeah, you repackage it.
With a different leader.
I was gonna say no with Boba, so you can still play as Boba, but just debuff his ability. Just don't.
Oh.
What's that word?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, nerf.
Yeah, I mean.
Errata. No,
Errata. That's it. No, that's what I'm looking for. Errata. Yep. Errata.
Yeah.
You errata the card. Sorry, you're a superhero right now. That was gonna bother me. If you errated Boba or did something to make his effect not as poisonous, but then would people play him? And that's the thing. I see, like you were saying though, Django, and I'm also seeing Anakin kind of make a little bit of a step into the spotlight.
I do follow tournaments, what's happened at the tournaments sometimes, and or there was a recent one, SCG Con. I know like Titanic, Tim, and people from McClunky Gaming were down there streaming and playing. But they there was a couple, I think, of Anakin Blues down there. I just watched somebody else's YouTube video about it too. These guys, the Boffin Network. I guess it's kind of like another competitive team or content creators.
Was Tower Number 9 commentating that?
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Fantastic job. He gets help from somebody called Endless. I'm not as familiar with him as with Tower, but he's had a couple of guest commentators with him. But I think he's pretty much the point man though. He's the one that's there the most. He just it down
for sure.
He does a great job.
Were you watching the Django versus Anakin match?
I don't. I have to go back and did you watch that one?
I did, and Django. It looked like Django really had the upper hand for a while. It was. I'll try to recap it the best I can. I'm not going to go into full detail, but essentially, Django just keeps exhausting, and he was exhausting Anakin, and because he was what he brought up, Ruthless Raider, hit it for 2 and exhausted him. That P30 thing.
Yeah, that's what's nasty. Like any damage that goes through and you exhaust.
Yeah,
could be 1 damage.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
Yeah. But you can only do it so many times. You can only have so many answers, and every time
once around, unless Django's on the board.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think he got rid of Django really quick, actually, too. I forgot what he did, but it was just a one and done thing. Django was in and he was out. But I believe Anakin, every time he took damage, he put like what was he putting on Anakin? He just kept buffing him. I think he was putting a lightsaber on him. Making him 3.
That deck runs Jedi lightsabers, and they try to put 2 on him a lot.
And he did, and he got 2 on him, and he
deals like 12 damage a shot sometimes.
Right, and that's what he basically had him. I think he had him up to 13, something like that. And it came to the point where he was exhausted, but he was about to hit for 13, and I think he had another unit that he would just put into play or something. I forgot how it ended, but the Django player ended up saying, he just gave up. He conceded. He drew the round ended. He drew into his next hand. He had initiative. He was hoping to maybe have an answer for Anakin. He didn't draw it. So he scooped.
Yeah.
But
I've been playing that deck. It's been fun. The Anakin deck. Just on Force Table. I haven't played anybody with it.
Okay. Double red?
No, it's red blue.
Okay.
It's Anakin blue.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how you get the Jedi lightsabers.
Oh, maybe that's it was using that.
And another card that which I flipped through it like opening packs, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this or whatever. And it's like a key card for the deck. It's called Perilous Position.
Yeah, the -2/-2 and exhaust.
Yeah, and exhaust. Yeah, but I don't know. It just there's There's the whatchamacallit, the Mandalorian ship, the Razor Crest. You can
Get it
play
back.
perilous position on somebody, and yeah, get it back exactly when you drop the ship.
Yeah, Razor Crest has some synergy, despite being like a Mandalorian thing. It's right. That
Oh,
was
if
the
you
name
want
of
to,
it.
it's restore two, and you can pick up upgrades with it. Or
Yeah,
you can pick up one upgrade with it from your discard pile.
yeah. You know what I like about this game? I think that they did a really good job with is they every unit has their like if it's cheap it is, but it's like one of our favorite units, you know, like the Ahsokas and or like the Cassian unit or just whatever. I'm trying to think of another like a cheap unit, like a Sabine Wren. Um,
You mean the
they're
leader that comes out early?
the leader who comes out early. No, I was actually talking about the unit. She's a 2/3,
Okay.
but like a lot of the ones that like are our favorites, they didn't just like say, oh, if it's like one of the big ones, we're just gonna make them a 6, 7, 8 cost unit or something because you know they're powerful, so they should be powerful in the game. But what they actually did was they just broke the curve. They allowed like units like that actually just are just really good value units. So you can play
Hmm.
them
Hmm.
in the first, second, third turns, and they're just good value units. Like just take a look at Grievous, which is a 3 cost 4/4. The stats, those are amazing stats. I don't think there's another unit out right now that's got with no downside. Um, I think the closest other thing is the guy who, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's a 3 cost 4/4 that gives your opponent 2 battle droids. So, like,
Oh yeah,
you know, it's a
Jet. Yes.
yes, that's who it is. So that's a downside. And Grievous is like, not only is there no downside, but there's an upside. If you happen to put 4 lightsabers on him, he kills 4 enemy units up to leaders, whatever. It's just insane. You know, I had a guy at my locals try to do that. He ended up getting 3 lightsabers on Grievous, but he couldn't get the 4th one. What do you like? How do you even manage to do it though? Like, you know, it's funny because it's like almost like a meme. Like you're never really gonna pull it off, but the fact that it's a possibility is hilarious. And then there's no aspect penalty to playing lightsabers on.
Right. Yeah, definitely run the Ahsoka sabers, the 1 cost.
Yes, yes, yeah. So I kind of just like that. I like that there's like there's units that we all love that are like cheap costing that are high value units. Like they didn't just
Yep.
make it, where they're all really expensive and everything else just kind of sucks. So
Yep.
I kind of really appreciated that. I don't know. I think they did such a good job with this. I played so many card games, Kevin, and they really are just, I feel like, very unoriginal, uninspired. Look at Bandai. I know you don't follow, but for people who watch or follow other card games out there, there's the One Piece card game. There's Digimon's big, and again, if you play those, cool. But if not, I'm not knocking them anyway. I just feel like they're very uninspired. I just feel like
Yep.
they're just kind of just like in the early 2000s, they were making a new card game almost every day. I feel like that's what Bandai is doing right now. Star Wars is different. It hits different, it feels different. This game was not on my radar. Not on my radar, like even in the slightest bit. When they announced it, I was like, oh my god. I don't know if you knew this, Kev, but they came out with a new Star Wars game every 3 to 4 years or something. It's like a crazy statistic. Because the ones that we mentioned before, they're not the only Star Wars games. There's like 6 or 7 they came out with. Like there's the original, there's like Young Jedis, there's like all different types of Star Wars card games. They came out every 3 to 4 years. So when I heard about Swill, I was like, no, I wasn't even looking at it. And I remember we were in a Marvel Champions chat on Facebook Messenger. We have like a group of people who play Marvel Champions who I hang out with.
Hmm.
And they were
Yep.
like, oh, Star Wars game's coming out next week. And they sent a link to the video to like a tutorial on how to play. And being who I am, I was like, yeah, I got to know how to play it at least. I don't care. So I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. So I texted back to everybody. I was like, why does this actually look fun? Like, I think this looks actually fun. It doesn't look bad, but it actually, not just not bad. I mean, it looks fun. Like, I feel like I'm going to get into this game. Nobody else felt the same way. And I was like, dang, those are my boys. I wanted somebody to play with me, but nah, nobody got into it. You know what sucks, Kev? I have friends who are in my inner circle who I really love. I love these guys. We play Marvel Champions. We actually played Lorcana, funny enough. That's how I kind
I
of,
heard that game is good. I haven't played it. But
you know, it's okay. When Set 1 came out, it was fun. I haven't revisited it since, but from time to time I'll like look at the cards that are out and everything and the strategies, and it's not for me. That first set was something special though. It was like the first time like a Disney card game was like a thing, and I actually got to experience. I got to experience with them. I went to the pre-release. I spent like $80. Gosh dang, I can't say that too loud. Like my wife's in the other room. I spent like $80 on like that set to like.
that's not a lot for card games.
I know, but like if I told her it was the Disney card game, so $80.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like times are tough. Times are tough. I shouldn't have been doing that. But I went to this pre-release, had a great time. I got a starter deck. I got the red and green starter deck. And I sat with this. They matched me up against a girl, and not that that matters, but I was like, oh man, she gonna beat me. I'm gonna feel so emasculated right now. And I ended up beating her, but I had to go. I didn't get to play the next. There was like a couple rounds. I beat her in 2 games, and I had so much fun. Not just because I beat her, but I was like the strategy. I don't know. I just enjoyed myself. And then I had to go, and I was like, oh, this sucks. So I said to her, I was like, look, I was like, I gotta go. So why don't you just tell him you won? She's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, it's fine. I gotta go. And I don't know, for like 5 seconds, I was like Superman. I walked out of that. So I did something nice for someone else. I walked out in slow motion. That was fun. I didn't mean to get off there, but you know, this is why, because I went off on a tangent. I'm so sorry that I did that. But I have, what's it called? These friends in this inner circle. So I wanted them to at least try the game. I felt like if they tried the game, they would enjoy it so much so that they would pick up starter decks and start getting involved too. And stuff. So I sat down and brought them over to Brothers Grimm, sat them down, gave them a starter deck, whatever. Now, it's not fun when you first play that game if somebody just steamrolls you. You're not gonna have a good time. I don't. Maybe you will. I would have a good time even if I got beat, but I don't think that's how my friends are. I feel like it's funner to win. And I think in general, just everybody, even if like you don't know a game, it's still more fun to win. That's a given, right? I threw every game I played. Like I was making the worst plays. I was doing everything wrong purposely because I wanted them to feel that thrill. I wanted them to be like, oh man, oh, this is fun. This is fun. I had my buddy, I'm not going to say his name. I had my buddy though. He was playing the Luke starter. I was playing Vader. He boosted up. He had Luke out, lightsaber on him. He had Chewbacca defending him. He had like 8 shields on Chewbacca. And I'm sitting there across the table going, I can't get through that defense, man. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's like laughing, and he put another lightsaber on Luke and he healed all his damage. I'm like, dude, I don't. And he wouldn't kill me. He wouldn't finish off my base because he was having so much fun just playing with the units and everything. Right. I had a good time. He had a good time. It was still fun. It was fun for me because I kind of threw the game, but he was having a good time. I like watching my friend have so much fun. And after it was over, I was like, oh, dude, good game. He was like, I was like, you gonna get it? He's like, nah. I'm like, oh, dude, so now you think I suck and you're not getting it, man? All right. Because I made some bad moves. Like, I made some bad moves purposely just to, like, give them the upper edge, you know?
Yeah. No go.
No, they were just like, nah, I'm out. That's cool. I love them. I still do.
That's why you need the rest of us, you know?
I'm glad I met you, though, man. Yeah, dude. Now, listen, Grimm's, there's a good group of guys at Grimm. I mean, if they're listening to the podcast right now, shout out to the Grimm guys, because there's... Totally. They are... all of them, too. I
met a lot of them. I don't think personally, but I just know them from online. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever make it down to Grimm, man, you'll see what I mean.
I have to sometime. The funny thing about you going this week was that it was my birthday over the weekend, so that kind of gives me like some points to use up. So I was like, oh, maybe my wife will let me go out to locals on Monday. we had too much going on. I couldn't make it like
I
usual. But I was thinking of going to Grim because nobody went to Gotham. So I was almost there with you.
Oh,
I'm glad you went.
that would have been amazing. Yeah, I got to go, and the guys are just great. They send a little message. They have a little theme in the chat. You know, hey, this Monday is gonna be all jank, so just make a janky deck and come. I'm like, that's great, man. So I don't have to worry about the most overpowered decks. You know, I like that.
Yep.
And then I went there. I didn't know any of them. And,
Great, I can bring my Cassian deck. This is fantastic.
That's exactly what I did. Hey, funny enough, I brought my Cassian
I'm
deck.
busting chops, yeah.
No. The funny thing is, I brought my Cassian deck to that first time I went for the jank deck. And it was supposed to be set 3 jank. That was the theme. But I said, guys, listen, I haven't been playing. So I brought Cassian. And they were like, yeah, he's jank enough. Don't worry. Like, it's totally, that's jank. I was like, all right, cool.
That's funny, jank, man. You overdo it, actually, but it's fine. You can play.
Yeah, exactly. I ended up going 2-1 that night, though. My first 2 matches, I steamrolled.
There you go.
And that's when, like, my Cassians, everything goes right. I just had everything go right for me. And I beat a Chewbacca deck, believe it or not, and I beat something else. And then I end up facing Ahsoka.
Chewbacca can be rough, yeah.
He can be. I don't think it went. I think it was a double blue Chewbacca. I ended up facing Ahsoka, and that coordinate I could not, for the life of me, take it out. Couldn't do anything. Literally steamrolled me. I said, I think I had a bad draw. I was like, you want to play again? He's like, yeah, sure, because there were still games going on. That's how fast he beat me. He beat me again. I think worse than the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
You know, what can you do? Anything that you want to discuss before I get into anything?
I don't think we should talk about it, but I just want to mention it. It's interesting how the hot deck of the moment, the Django red decks, is a deck without Overwhelming Barrage in it. I just wanted to say that before. I know people know that already, but I just find that interesting.
So which one? We talking about the Anakin?
No,
Django. Sorry, yes.
Tarkin Town.
Doesn't have the
it's a yellow red. But that's backtrack. We don't need to go back to that.
Yeah, no, that is a good point too, because it does it can potentially with Django leader on there, right? It can basically exhaust everybody that it touches. Is that correct?
The Django deck, yeah, just like we said, it's it's like a lot of other leaders. It's when it's before he flips, he can do it once a round, and when he flips, he can do it all the time.
That's crazy. Yeah, when a friendly unit deals damage to an enemy unit, you may exhaust that unit. Yeah, so Overwhelming Barrage would actually be amazing on him. I don't think it's necessary. I think there's a lot in yellow that just that ping. There's so many things that ping. Or actually, yeah, and red too. The Ruthless Raider. Ruthless Raider's like huge. That P something ship.
P38, whatever. Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah. That's
something like that. Yeah. I think it's one damage when you drop it and one when it is defeated. I don't know.
Again, green black, it's going in. Like you're not playing Overwhelming Barrage. It's just. Hey, did you see my latest video? Did you watch? It was basically a video of me saying that me and Coach were going to be doing podcasts again.
Yes, that was a short video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. What'd you think of the intro? Did you see the little intro animation I made?
Very cool.
Yes, dude. Right. Thank you. No, it's just I was proud of that.
You should be, man. You have skills with the video making, for lack of a better term.
I appreciate that.
Video production.
Yeah, listen, dude, I take that stuff very seriously. Unfortunately, AI is getting out of hand strong. So I don't know if it'll completely erase editors, but I realize that there are apps now that people can just like throw on a bunch of it and just let the thing cut it up. I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible yet, but I've been using one software like my whole life, the Adobe Premiere, for anyone who's interested. And I just started using CapCut, which is, first, it was an app I downloaded on my phone because it was just something I can make stupid videos and send them to my friends with. And then I realized I'm using this a lot. Like, this is really good too. There's so many easy, like, things that might take me a couple minutes in Adobe Premiere are taking me seconds in this. And some of it is with the help of AI. So I was like, I think I might keep using this. This is like really strong. So I actually downloaded it on my computer and I bought the pro version, which is like $10 a month. Adobe Premiere is like 30. And if you're not a student, and I've just been using CapCut, which I'm not ashamed to say that. It's a really strong, powerful program. It's not perfect, but it's a powerful program. And that's how I made that intro. I made it with CapCut. Just using some of their basic animations and a little bit of my own hand animating, but not much. Not much. There's a lot of...
it came out good. Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Podcasts are 20% the people and 80% intro, I think. I think...
well said.
If my math... Thank you.
Well said.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what'd you think of Rex tonight? We played on tabletop. You got to face Captain Rex for the first time later. Double green.
Double green. That was educational.
I like that.
What the double green? Yeah, you know what? It's the bottom line is it's cool to see different decks do different things. You know, not every deck out there is going to do what Django's deck does, which we already talked about a few times. This, that deck, right? I mean, it just it gets units out there that synergize with each other and buff each other and makes it harder to remove them all. And you got your command cards in there. I mean, you could explain it better than me because you've played it a few times. But yeah, I thought it was cool for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you basically hit the nail on the head. It's just about it is literally just about flooding the board with units. That's it. Just flooding the board with your clones who start out as 2/2s, but with people like Shaq T, make some 3/2s. Your leader makes some 3/3s, and then who's that other guy? What's his name?
Yularen.
Man, is it Yularen?
Yularen gives him +1 health.
+1 health, yeah. Yes, it is Yularen. And which is just, it's stupid.
And
so
he's a 2/5.
And he's a 2/5. He's a big boy. He's beefy.
That's crazy stats, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, you got 3/5, 3 attack, 5 defense clones, and sometimes you got like 8 of them out. And at that point, if you can stabilize and find a way to like your opponent goes, they spend the majority of their resources on something, and you already have a big board. You play like an Akbar and kill whatever they just played, and now you have the whole game. It's over at that point. And that's the MVP, Akbar. I'm sorry, but the fact that I was hitting guys at locals for 8-9 damage with him. Absolutely incredible card. Flood the board with tokens.
Trap.
Yeah. You always have to expect, like, with 3 open resources and a flooded board, no matter what you put out, unless it's wiping away like massive amounts of units, you gotta worry about Akbar, like, because he's a potential drop that's gonna, unless your unit is shielded, he's probably gonna kill them. He's he's so great. And I never played with Maz Ameda.
Ameda.
I don't know how these things. Yeah, never played with him before, but he was like an MVP too. I drew like 6 cards from that guy over the course of our game.
Yeah, you pulled a ton of units with him, and yeah,
and
he was a big part of the deck.
He was.
Yeah.
I feel like he's beefy too. He doesn't hit for anything, but he's got 4 defense, and it's like you really don't want to put your resources into him, or you don't want to damage him, because it's like there's other places I can hit the base for more damage. But no, you want to get rid of this guy because he's a problem. He's card advantage. If you get even 1 Think about that, man. If you even get like 1 unit out with this guy, that's it. He just became a draw card. And
Mm-hmm.
and that usually cost a resource, but like he gives that whatever unit you play, you basically draw another card. And it's a unit. It's a choice out of 4 cards. Choose a unit, the best unit in that 4 card draw. You know, you get to choose the best one and add it to your hand. That's crazy. So there's a reason why he's a double command. But
Right.
I stole it from Veiled Shot.
That deck.
Yeah, he just uploaded a video of him playing with it. Actually, if you want to get to know it and you have extra time later or whatever, he has a 47-minute long video of him just playing.
I was just listening to him yesterday. Veiled Shot.
Well, you know, when the game first came out, I wasn't a big fan of his. He starts off his videos with like smiling, "What's up, everyone?" He's got a big smile on his face, and what are you so happy about? But I love him. Isn't that terrible? I love him, dude. He just seems like a genuinely nice dude.
Yeah.
He really does, man.
Yeah.
I think I'd get along with him in real life, man. He seems like genuinely just a good dude. Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean,
He said that he's out in Montana. In the video that I watched.
Is that where he lives?
I believe that's what he said.
Montana's beautiful. I would move there. I know nothing other than it's gorgeous. It's kind of a weird thing to end on, but I did want to go over the new keywords in set 3, seeing that I'm returning for set 3. I didn't really get a good chance to play with like smuggle and capturing. Capturing really never took off. I will say.
No, it really didn't.
I will say this though. What do you think about that Cad Bane card? 7 cost.
Is that's the legendary Cad Bane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in. Was it the Django deck that he's in? I've seen him in decks, you know, at the competitive events. So people like capturing when he's involved, you know. But otherwise, people don't use capture much.
Yeah, it's for him. It's almost too good not to. But what I like is, okay, they came out with this leader who has he utilizes capture really well. Just basically taking up to 3 units hostage. The thing is, now that's going to allow people to kind of play cards in their hand that deal with captured units. I feel like that's, you know, he does give them back to you every time he attacks.
Yeah.
But it might make cards a little bit more viable that rescue. Or do things to units who have a captured unit.
Oh man, I'd have to go back, but I think it might have been a 1-cost blue card with a picture of Kylo Ren on it, maybe, and it said something about it did one thing, but then it also, I think it exhausted a unit, but it also, man, I hope I'm not off base with it.
I'm looking for
But
it.
it
right
also,
now, I think
it also freed up a captured card, I thought. And I'm like, okay, exhaust's fine, but I don't want to free up any captured cards. I never played a deck that had that in it.
Unexpected escape, that's what it was. Exhaust a unit, you may rescue a captured card guarded by that unit. Yeah, like something like that's not getting played right now, but you're going up against a yellow guy who, you know, probably got Cad Bane in there, a yellow villain. You might want to put that in your side deck. You know, it's a possibility if he gets.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't know.
If it's a prominent card, then yeah.
Yeah, if it's prominent, I don't know. It's just the fact that it makes that card a little more viable, whereas before it kind of wasn't. But yeah, just the fact that so like the capture ability, whole thing. But set 2, I went kind of right over my head because I was going through a lot, as you know. But when set 3 came out, there's exploit and there's coordinate. Now, which is better? Go.
Coordinate.
You like coordinate better? Coordinate, I feel like I agree. I feel like it's a little stronger right now. The payoff.
I'm sure people could stand on a debate stage and make a case for both. I'm sure, but I don't know. I think it's a lot easier to make the debate for coordinate. That it's better.
Can you imagine
You know,
two neckbeards in a debate stage talking about what's better exploit? Or
yeah, that'd be pretty lame. Yeah, sorry, sorry for the imagery there.
the meme of the where have you been, honey? Like, you're cheating on me, and then seeing what you're actually doing. No, I'm at a debate where these guys are discussing if coordinate or exploit is better.
I'm at a lecture about a card game. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so we were discussing this a little bit earlier, I think, tonight. But having a game plan where I'm going to put out all these, because if you're doing exploit, you're going to want to do it with battle droid tokens, ideally. I mean, I guess it could be used for some late game bombs, but I don't know. You usually don't. You're trying to put out battle droid tokens, and then blow them up, but your opponent knows exactly what you're trying to do and what your game plan is. If it's like it's like exploit and separatists go hand in hand the way they made the cards. So you see what I'm getting at? It's just, I don't know. It's such a transparent game plan, and it's very easy to, okay, I have to kill off your little battle droids before you can exploit them. That was your and I, our experience playing the starter decks against each other, was that I was smoking you with the coordinate deck. I know that wasn't a customized deck, but
I wouldn't say you were smoking me. I would say absolutely decimating me. I couldn't get a leg up on you. Listen, that's the thing. The exploit seems to be something that you're using for the droids, which are 1/1s and very easy to extinguish. And if you know what you're doing, you can usually, I'm not, maybe not all the time. And I know there's people who've played malevolences on me and exploited, and there's exploit ambush cards. There are good ones out there, but
right.
I feel like if let's say you don't get the exploit off, they're undervalued. I mean, they're overvalued. They're too much. They're too costly.
Yeah.
You're subsidizing resources for units. You're paying with units instead. So if you're not getting that discount by paying off units, and there's no better unit than droids because they're really weak and pathetic. So it's great to pay with them. Like malevolence. If you get them in the perfect hand, it's a 9 cost card with exploit 4. And the perfect hand. You turn 1, you play 2 units, and then turn 2, you have 3 resources. If no one touches either of those units, they're just going face because they don't know the game. They don't know the potential of malevolence being out there. And you play that droid deployment, which creates 2 droid tokens. Now you have 4 units. Turn 2 with 1 open resource. You can pay for a 9 cost card malevolence, which is a 7/7 restore 2 when played, give an enemy -4/-0 for this phase, which probably turn 2 isn't really going to matter. But okay, now I have a 7/7 restore 2 on board, and I'm hitting you for 7 damage unless you could stop it.
Yep.
That said, a lot has to go right. Not only that, you have to get the right hand, and you have to be playing against the right opponent, who's doesn't really know the danger of the game. So I just think too much has to go right for exploit to really pay off. At locals, I noticed a guy kept the guy I beat last was trying to get off a few units with exploit. He couldn't really make the exploit happen, so he ended up paying for him outright, and he wasn't getting his value. He was like paying way too much for too little in return. And I think that's the problem. Whereas coordinate usually has abilities that make it you're usually playing a deck that's like, it's an assembly line for units. You're just making them.
Yep. And even in decks that aren't trying to make units, like how common is it for someone's board state to have 3 units on the board, and it's just like it's something that you want to see happen. I mean, like when you drop Ayla, like yeah, you want her to have coordinate on because she's awesome with it on. Um, but um, but other units, they're just better units when they have coordinate. But if they don't, you can still play them and hopefully get it on later. And yeah, so it's kind of less. How would you say it? There's kind of less. There's less to lose. There's less of a downside when you can't quite, make happen what you want to happen. Whereas when you're trying to use exploit and it's not happening, it's a bigger problem. I think
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, your exploit units, if they don't get used for what their purpose is, are so pricey for giving you so little in return. Whereas with units like with coordinate, you are actually getting, even if coordinate's not online, it's still a pretty decent unit. It may not be as great as it should be, but it's still like pretty good. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I think you're right. You don't need too much of a commitment for coordinate because you're gonna be playing units anyway. So
Right.
you can get them out there, and once you have 2 units in play, the next unit you play has coordinate online, like coordinates online. So I don't really
Yeah.
find it to be too hard to accomplish that. I mean, unless someone's really just laying waste to your units, it's pretty easy to get online. And there's so many things that just make units. But yeah, I think overall, man, I think coordinate wins in this case. I think if some really strong exploit cards start to come out, and I think we have a conversation. But right now, I just feel like it's too easy to make coordinate happen. There's too many things that just create, what's it called, tokens for you,
Yep.
to get coordinate online. So I would agree with you. I would also love to any listeners, no matter what you're doing right now, listen, write a comment on here, man. I would love to hear what you guys think. Coordinate, exploit, and then just give me your reason for why you think it's better. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion.
That's right. Tell us why we're wrong.
Tell us why we're wrong. Yeah, I mean, seriously.
But that's another thing that's fun about watching the game develop is a mechanic or a keyword, whatever it may be, that seems like jank or useless today. Another set or two from now, it can become powerful because it has access to different cards, like you were saying. So,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
like smuggle, like it was an instant hit. That's just useful any old time.
right.
Any deck can use a smuggle card. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, other mechanics need to find their niche, like you were saying, or keywords, whatever it is.
Yeah. Hey, man, they made when set 1 came out, we heard that there were already 9 sets in, there was already 9 sets created, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
What if set 1 just flopped and they have 8 sets on back order that just are never gonna see the light of day?
Do not speak of this.
I don't know.
Hoping that this game keeps going for a number of years.
Oh, let's close with this, because that's actually one last thing I wanted to talk about was set 3. There's people making videos left and right about the prices dropping. I don't know if you're aware of this, but prices have begun going down. Set 1 got their reprints out. Set 2 it didn't really explode because there was the power level of set 2 was so much weaker compared to set 1, so not as many people invested in it. They didn't have the Lukes and Vaders, the power cards that came out. They had Maul in there and everything, but it wasn't set 1 cards. And now set 3, I guess the power level is a little higher. There's a little bit more to look forward to with set 3, but the prices are a lot lower than they were. And I'm hearing a lot of people complain because the LGSs aren't able to make back their money. And because I guess they're getting the orders that they're ordering. I apparently with set 1, you order 1,000 boxes, you'd be lucky if you get 100. with set 3, you order 1,000 boxes, you got 1,000 boxes. And because they're so low, the price, they're not making the money back that their initial rent. I think the ROI is really small. So they it's a problem. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
man. I don't care. Like that, deal with it. You're in that business. Deal with it. I'm so sorry. I'm sure there's somebody out there. You have no idea. How dare you say that? Bro, deal with it, man. This is a game that people are enjoying and it's at a lower price point. That should be, it's cardboard. Remember, at the end of the day, I don't like the idea that set 1 had their prices. At one time, I bought a box, dude, for $125. That was before it really got out of hand, but that made me want to
Hmm.
vomit that I was spending $125 on cards. I didn't know how to justify that, especially during like money was so tight. And well, like, what am I doing right now? That's what I was saying to myself. What the hell am I doing? And that's my whole point. So now the prices are down at like 75, 80 bucks. People are like,
Yeah.
well, stores aren't going to carry them anymore. And if they don't carry them anymore, then people can't get it. And I get that. I get where that's going and everything. But figure it out, man, because I think card games should be cheaper. It should be a smaller investment. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm sorry. Like some of us, I'm not hating on anybody, but I live on my own. My wife, money's tight all the time. And I don't have money to just throw and down on whatever. We live by ourselves. We don't have people paying for stuff for us. We owe rent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't just spend $300 and justify that on a deck of cards just so I can go to my local game store and play for a couple hours. Like, I just can't do
Yep.
it. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think that I mean, I always tend to give people the benefit of the doubt with stuff. It's just like my default inclination. But I sympathize with game stores. I don't think it's easy for them to always make money. I sympathize also with Fantasy Flight. It's like they might seem like because they produce this game, like this behemoth corporation or something. But like if we actually knew how much staff they had, and I don't know, it might be like a dozen people. I don't know how many people are working on this game. You think about paying them every year, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like we see the shiny cards come out, and I think it's easy to assume that well, this company must be rolling in money, they must be pulling in tons of money, but they have to also they have to make a plan and like kind of I don't want to say ride the storm, but they have to go through okay, how much do we make for release? And then they do it and they watch the prices go, up and down and wherever. And then it's okay, how many, is the interest going to continue? Are people going to keep playing? And then, well, then what, what about when people, at the game stores, showing up at locals, drops from 15, to 10 to 5, and there's only a few people there each week. Like, who's buying the cards? Then what does the company do? So they have to figure all that out. Long term, how do we keep this game going? Are people interested? Are people going to buy it? If they don't buy the game, which we put so much effort into, and it doesn't sustain, then what's our plan then? Because I'm sure they're not just making plans as if just like we would make decks in the game. A good deck, any good deck in the game. You're gonna have okay, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? We're not just gonna make an exploit deck and just say, oh, I'm sure I'll be able to just smoke my just blow up my battle droids and put down any card I want. No, we make plans for okay, well, if it goes sideways, then this is what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I think that what's happening now, if the price is going down, it's the first year of the game being out. It's set 3, and it's a new experience for them, but it's an early one, so that we really still don't know how things are going to go. There's you can't really base anything off it because Fantasy Flight is still figuring things out. They haven't even really much started their competitive events yet, so they need to know who's going to keep playing this game, who's going to keep buying it consistently, not just over the first 3 months, but over the course of each year, and they're of course watching those numbers closely, and they're going to figure it out. And I just hope that through it all, they're able to just keep making the game, and keep having their events and whatnot. I just hope that it lasts, because I have no doubt that it can't be easy, like doing what they do. I know they have methods for it, I'm sure, like all of us do for our careers, what we do. But yeah, it's still early. It's just a long way of saying it's still early. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to happen. Prices are going to fluctuate.
That's such a more mild-mannered, diplomatic answer, Kev.
Yeah, that's more my MO.
I commend you for it. Yeah, look, I don't personally like to ride the fence if and I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. I'm saying that I'm kind of either all in or I'm not. I just got to be like, I tell it like it is. If it irks me in any way, I got to let people know. And I don't mean to comment anyone disrespectfully, but hey, man, this is my opinion, and people are free to disagree with it. I just think it's never a bad thing when a game is priced at a point where it makes sense to invest your money into. If I go to the store, if I go to my LGS and they're selling a box of cards for $120, I'm not buying it. And I get why some people do. They make $500, $600, $700 a week. They don't have any other bills, maybe and then their car, because they don't pay rent, they live at home, whatever. Cool, good for you, and more power to you. I'm jealous. But when you drop down, a couple $100 on boxes of cards, that's not, everyone can't do that. And the people who can't do it are missing out. Now, if a box is priced $70, $80, I'll buy a box and I'll support my local game store, because I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I feel like I'm getting at least MSRP. And even if I'm not getting MSRP, if I'm even a little above what I think it's worth, I'll still buy it just to support my local game store, just because I know there's overhead costs and there's costs accounted for within that price tag that there's a reason why they cost a little bit more to do that. But you support the local game store too, because you go there and that's where you congregate with your buddies to play the game that you love to play. So they keep that door open for you. They keep the product on the shelves. So at least you can do is invest. But when it's overpriced, I mean, listen, man, local game store owners, bro, they're not 100% like guilt free. I remember they were really price gouging when Set 1 was out. Some stores were like selling product for like $200, and some people were justifying it and saying it's their right to do it, price it like it's limited supply. But other people are it was exorbitant prices. For what? Like, that's insane. I get it. Like, you gotta make your money back and everything, but that's when a card game gets poisonous to me. That's when I'm out too, by the way. I remember when product was I got to the point where I was like, I'm checking out. I got too much going on in my life right now to really be worried about this. Every time I go to a locals, everyone's got all the best cards. Again, this isn't, I don't mean for this to sound, whatever. I don't mean for it to sound like I'm playing the world's smallest violin here. I just, I would get to a point where I'm just like, I can't afford this game right now. I just got to bite the bullet. And right now I'll watch from afar, which is what I did. And, I'll come back if it ever gets low. And now that prices are low, I thought that was a good thing, but I'm seeing a lot of people complain, and I don't know. Because there's a lot of people, there's like collectors who are like, well, I'm not going to. What's that?
You're right. That is kind of weird. You're right. That is kind of weird to complain about it. The only valid can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It got quiet, so I want to make sure that nothing went wrong. The only like semi-valid complaint I could see is if people are like, is the game ending? Like that, that could be a concern. But other than that, it's like, well, cheap cards is good.
I thought so. I think so. Like, prices have gone down. You remember what they were?
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yeah.
$100, $150 or whatever for a Vader playset.
For the Vader playset. Yeah, look at this. I'm looking at the Boba Fett Disintegrator. this thing was up in August 6 months ago. He was selling
Yeah.
76 items
I,
sold for $52 in June. The thing is down right now to $28.
oh
Is that
wow. Yeah,
it's
that stock went down.
I'm I'm looking at one right now, $25.55 plus 99 for shipping. So it's about $27 for Boba Fett. Dude,
Time to buy both.
hey, that's fine. That Boba Fett is he's a piece of cardboard with the Boba Fett name on it. I've seriously considered multiple times going to one of those Etsy websites and going to one of the Etsy websites and like having them print me like a fake Boba Fett, but I never did it because that's ridiculous. But like because they're $7 if you buy them off of Etsy, you put them in sleeves. Is anyone really looking at your thing? Is this real? No, I don't think so. If it looks real,
Yeah.
like, and some of them have them,
Not at a local.
not
for
at
sure.
no, not at a local. And that's mainly where I'd be going anyway. It's the only place I'd be going. But yeah. And then how much you bought a Vader a playset, right? A Vader?
Yeah, I did.
Well, he's still
Yep.
$41, but he was 100 at a certain point.
Pay 100. I think I paid around 150 for the set. So he had come down a little bit.
Oh no, he was like 80. Yeah, there it is. March 4th, 74, 77. And look at that, 357 items sold. And right now he's sitting at $58. Dude,
Still got to put him in my Tarkin deck.
curse your Tarkin deck. That freaking thing beat me. His showcase is going for 62. That's actually less than I thought it would be. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, I just want everyone to have a good time and have fun. I hate that we care so much about prices. I just wish it was like, yeah, like let's just price them at a normal price that most people can afford to pay and move on with life. And not that most people could. If I wanted to afford a top tier deck, I can do it. But can I justify it? I can't. I can't justify that over filling my refrigerator with groceries. I can't do that.
Yep.
This has gotten too real. Okay, boys. So I want to thank. I want. Listen, everyone watching or listening. Thank you so much. Really, seriously, it would mean so much to me if you continue to support the channel. Give a like, thumbs up, do whatever the cool kids are doing these days. A subscribe would mean a lot to me. This channel ended up getting. I went from 13 subscribers to 70 something relatively quickly, which isn't, it's not monstrous numbers, but it was kind of cool to see so many people starting to watch my stuff. It was so any type of support would mean the world to me. I would just really appreciate it. And that's really it. We did good. By the way, Kev, I did pull that box. If you watched the video, that's what I was actually trying to say before. I totally forgot. That I just totally forgot to record the face cam, the actual cam of me opening the packs. It was just my stupid ugly face, my dumb fat face from a low angle with my double chin sticking out, and that's it. There's no cam showing the opening, but I got that. I got that foil Poe, which was a real nice pull.
Yeah, that is.
I think that's the only thing. That was the second card I opened, second pack I opened, that foil Poe, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be an amazing box. I was wrong. It wasn't.
Yeah, so you were opening set 2, right?
Yeah, my wife, I said, which set is it, honey? And she said, I don't know. I just saw a red and a blue box, and I bought blue because I know you like blue. And I was like, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
I mean, and yeah.
Well,
In a way, some people feel like that, like the third set, is non-essential in some ways. That there are better cards than set 1 and 2.
I find that they like the set 3 cards a little more than set 2. Set 2, I feel like there was really nothing. Like, what was there? Maul?
Well, Poe gets a lot of play.
Poe does get a lot of play.
Wrecker does.
Oh, Wrecker is set 2, huh?
Yeah, he's probably a rare, I'm guessing, but I'm forgetting though.
I think I might have pulled him actually.
But
Yeah, I did.
yeah, I'd have to go back and like it's late, so my brain's not working. But
That's fair, man.
there were. I mean, it depends on who you ask, really.
Is Kylo?
sets I like
There's a Kylo, the one that's like an 8/7 if he
Kylo-
ambushes.
Oh, Legend. Yeah. I don't know if he sees a lot of play or not. Same as Ray. Ray doesn't see play either.
She doesn't
Ray
see play.
Legendary.
I put her in the Yoda deck that I made, but she doesn't see a lot of play. She definitely
No, it's
doesn't.
too bad.
Yeah.
I love Ray in general as a character.
Yo, do you?
As a leader, she's good, fortunately. But as a unit, she's I don't know, kind of useless. And the legendary to boot.
Yeah, she heals herself. Or
But
she
you never
heals
know.
anybody. Yeah, you never know. She's got the Force Jedi synergy, so we'll see. But guys, I really want to appreciate it. I don't want to keep Kuipers any longer. He did me a hell of a serious favor. So I want to thank him. Thank you so much, Kev, for coming out and hanging out with us.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on. I love the game, and I love listening to content too. So it's fun to just be a part of that for this episode anyway. I hope that you and Coach, find a lot of success making great content for the community, and wanted to encourage anyone who listens to, just like Matt said, to like, subscribe, whatever you can do to support the channel, the podcast, and also be sure to give feedback, because I know that Matt has a ton of experience video production and doing this kind of thing, but I know that he always wants to hear from people, like what suggestions for what could how he can improve it. So and yeah, man, just appreciate you, and thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you, Kevin. Thanks for all the nice stuff that you said.
You got it, man.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you
got it.
later. Everybody have a good night, good day, wherever you are. And we will see you soon. Again, Kev, thanks for spending time with us.
May the swoo be with you.
Hey.